JP. Whoa. Whee! Better wake up. Whoa. Better shake up, shake up.
I wanna wake up. I wanna shake up.
I felt a strong calling that this time is the time. This same football field is next to my home. I used to live on it. Like, I will dream, I will lie down, I will play football. When night is coming in, I will go over there and do my training and prepare myself. That time was in 2016, and I won't call this one a jump because I knew where I was going. Thanks to Kimberly and Femi for accommodating me in Trinidad. I left Tobago and went to Trinidad 2016. Tried to make it in Pro League. Pro League is the highest level of football in Trinidad and Tobago. So I tried to play in that professional league by going to Trinidad and seeking a club. I went to Trinidad and I tried out with 2 clubs. I went and tried with Defense Force and I didn't make it. So then I decided I'm going to try with Club Sando. Club Sando was very far from where I stayed. Very, very far. And trainings were at night. And it was not easy at all because leaving Tobago to go to Trinidad, one, I did not know Trinidad that good. Thanks to my friend Shan, who carried me to one of the trainings. She accompanied me to my first training because I did not know my whereabouts. She was in Trinidad at the time studying, so she was able to accompany me to my first training, and I'm grateful. I was lost. I was really lost a lot of times, and these night training really affected me because I was scared of asking people for direction because I did not want people to know that I'm not from here, because you know there's a lot of murdering and kidnapping and these things, so I didn't want that to happen to me. So I was a bit afraid of letting people know that, of asking person for direction. So it was kind of difficult, and then going home late because training started 7 and finish about 9, so I reach home about 10 because it's an hour away, hour drive away, and sometimes it can be longer because of traffic. So I used to reach home very late. I remember one time when after training I reached home, but I was a little distant from my home, so the car dropped me off and I had to walk the rest because I would have had to pay more to go in. So while walking in, I saw a car came and stopped right where the first car dropped me off, and the car was just there and the man was looking straight at me, and I continued walking and walking. I had to walk past my home so that they don't see where I live. You know, I had to just pass it, and as the car drive off, I just come back and go into my home. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. But I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed the training. I really, really enjoyed the training because I feel like it was a dream coming true, because like for me to actually leave and come to Trinidad was a big deal. Like, I never expected, like it was like the Holy Spirit just leading me. So I came, but I did not make it. I did not make it on the team, unfortunately. But you know what? I went back home. I felt a bit shame because people reminded me of when they told me that I wouldn't be able to make it as a professional footballer. They reminded me, and they were like, I told you, and I told you, and I told you. I felt a bit bad, but I knew in the back of my mind that was not it. That was not That wasn't it. That was never it for me. That's what I was saying to myself. That was not it for me. So I came back into construction, still continued training, still continued training. What really affected me was injury when I went. Injury always used to set me back, like allow me to miss a lot of training because I have to take care of myself and stuff. So that kind of set me back. But when I came back, now I started doing my construction again, falling out with people again. I was getting a bit closer to God this time, because remember I was fasting and stuff. So I was getting closer to God, and from that movement to Trinidad, I kind of felt a little growth, I felt a little more mature. So I kind of deal with situations a little bit different, but I still was I was ignorant. I was still angry a lot of times at my work because they used to make fun of me sometimes because I wasn't as good as they were. So when I do clumsy stuff, they would make joke of me and laugh at me. I came back, I had to face my father again. I went to work. I eventually joined Purpose the band because I felt like God was calling me into ministry. I stayed with Purpose the band for a year, and I thought it was over. I felt like I was questioning God. God, why did you let me go to Trinidad, and what was the purpose of me going to Trinidad if you have me to come back to play with a band? Because I'm a keyboardist. I felt like, I have a gift and that I should use it. And if God is calling me, I always obey God. If God is calling me, that is one thing about me. If God is calling me, I am very obedient to His calling. And God called me into ministry. And after a year of doing ministry, I had to tell my band that I have to leave. I will have to come out of this band because I felt a strong calling again. I felt a strong calling that this time is the time to press again in my football. I stopped playing football and moved into the band because I couldn't do the both, because there are times where I have band training and football training at the same time. So I had to choose which one I want. And it was a hard battle because I felt like God is calling me into ministry, but yet I want to pursue my career with football. So I had to be obedient to God. I really had to be obedient to God. I traveled to Barbados and ministered with a band and these things, and I felt different and I felt like it was over. But then God called me back. God called me back into football. So I had to tell my band what's happening. I had to tell my band that I have to leave. Some understood, some didn't. I remember one person telling me, why you want to leave to go and play football? Why you want to leave the band to go and play football? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you leave in ministry to go and play football. And I was like, yes, God is calling me. And at that time, I was in the process of going to Trinidad. I was in the process of not knowing where I'm going, but I'm going. I just figured it out. I did not know where I was going, but I saved my money from construction and decided I am going to rent somewhere in Trinidad and find a club. I had a friend who I play football with, and I wanted both of us to go, but it didn't work out that way. Like, he said to me, it's better to make it here so that those in Trinidad can recognize me and you know, if I shine here, they can recognize me and I can get an opportunity to play professionally instead of me going there and seeking the opportunity. And I didn't listen to that. I didn't want to stay here and shine because honestly, I couldn't stay in Tobago and shine because I wasn't getting a lot of playing opportunities. As I said, injury used to set me back a lot of times. I used to play half seasons, like when I start a season and I'm scoring goals, boom, injury come and I have to miss the rest of the season. Or I start off with an injury in the first season and then I finish off the season with a little bit of goal. So injuries used to set me back. And in those times, coaches never used to want to play me. Like, I wasn't top class footballer like some of the other footballers. I wasn't as great as they are. But I had faith. No matter how unskilled I felt. I knew I was skillful, but not as good as them. And I know I had faith. So I never got a lot of playing time because the coaches never find it fit for me to play with an injury, and they weren't willing to make that sacrifice even if I was injured to play me because I wasn't as good as others. See, if I was really good like the others, even if I have injury, they might have still given me a chance, but I wasn't getting a lot of chances. So I decided I'm gonna go down to Trinidad and look for a club and play. And I left my bank. I was saving money from my construction. At that time, I remember my aunt Tanny Penn. They traveled and they stayed in Trinidad. So I asked her, where did they stay? Because I was looking for somewhere I could stay while I seek to play with a club. So I called her and she linked me to this hotel. And I decided that I'm gonna go, and I went with the money that I have. But you would not believe what God did when I took that job to go to Trinidad to try to make it professionally. You will not believe what God did. I'm going to give you just a little snippet of what God did. I was able to live at this same hotel that I called, worked at this hotel, and was able to still go to training. The rest you will hear in my next episode of the marvelous work of God.
So until next time, guys, remember to subscribe right here, share, and like this video down below.
So until then,
bye.
Wake up.